Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh. Hey, Dom.
Hey, Brett.
Hey, Dom, I'm in the airport right now at the lounge. So, besides calling the meeting to order and everything like that, if you could just lead through the agenda, that way, I'd pick up the least amount of background noise as possible would be great.
You got it. I mean, there's not much to the agenda today. I'm going to share my screen. Anytime today, please. There we go. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. Oh, I think too much. There we go.
Tom, I still have that thing that we want to talk about with Don still on the thing. I just didn't get the chance to add it to the agenda, so I'll make sure that we can discuss it next meeting.
Okay.
I wasn't sure how much time we were going to need today, so I didn't want to risk run out of time. So.
All right.
It looks like we have quorum. Dominic, know we had the email for the communications committee. Did that not get added to the agenda?
Yes, it's part of well, not the email itself, but the agenda item is there.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. Do we want to call the meeting to order now, or do we want to wait for our guest?
We have quorum.
We do.
Yes, we have Tom, we have Andrew, and yourself. So that would be quorum.
All right. If I could get a motion to open the meeting.
So moved.
All right. Great. Thank you. All right. So I guess we can go ahead and begin, or we can wait for the communications team.
And Downtown from comms, the comms committee member is with us
Okay.
on the
Okay,
call.
they're in the building. Okay, with you. Okay, great.
Well, they're on the call. He's on the call with us.
Why don't I see him? Oh, okay. Okay, I do now.
I'm here.
Yep. Just had to have the attendees update on my phone. So, all right. All right. So we don't otherwise have any owners present. So go ahead and move to. Can we get a motion to adopt this month's agenda, please?
So moved.
All right. All right, Dominic, you want to take over the discussion, please?
We have the discussion item number one, well, letter A, weather cam for Lakeside. It doesn't have to be for Lakeside, but when we did the walk around, Lakeside seemed to be the premium choice at the moment for not having to involve multiple different entities in order to get a camera installed. The view is still pretty. Our comms manager agreed with the view. It gives you the lake, the park, and the hotel, the Celebration Hotel. If we wanted to move it to other places, we looked at downtown, but that would require Kanoa and CCDD to get involved, and costs for running cabling or cellular Wi-Fi, whatever the case may be, to do that part. So when this came to me, I told them, it's like, well, the simplest and easy choice for the budget was as low as possible. So I was like, all right, well, we have a network connections. We can run the cabling ourselves from the maintenance team at Lakeside. And we have the network bandwidth for it. And we could plug in a camera on the roof of the building. And all we'll need to do is put in a ARC request to get the camera installed on that wall. Sorry, on that roof facing the lake. So I think some of the stuff has changed in their requirements other than just simply for weather. So I'll leave that for downtown to explain the other options that they want, and then you guys at the tech committee can chime in on where we should go with that.
Hi, gentlemen. How are you guys tonight?
Good, thanks.
Good. Well, I'm the chair of the communications committee, and we've been chatting about this for a while now. We want to keep it as simple as possible. So if we don't need to involve the other entities like Kanoa or Lexan at this point, I think like Don said, that we'd have a nice beauty shot from that location, and we want to keep it simple. We could always expand, later on, but kind of like this, a pilot program per se. And so we really want to look to you guys for the experts as far as the compatibility, make sure we get the right camera, the right things in place to make this worthwhile. We call it a weather cam, but I thought of it more of as a web cam. Perhaps we can superimpose the weather on top of the, temperature, whatever, on top of the visual of the camera, but it's of a webcam variety. I shared with Bill Long, and his said there will be some cost involved for the server to be on this every month. He was going to get with us and let me know what that was. He said it'd be nominal. So if you guys have any ideas of what that would cost to host this every month, that would be beneficial, because I'd like to take it to the CROA board this coming Wednesday. We were saying that everybody's on board and making this a reality, instead of making this a 6-month project. Let's move rather quickly.
Could you just back up and explain what is the purpose of the camera? What does it do, and
Yeah.
who has access to it? And
yeah, well,
those
that's a good question. Who had access? I think if we put it on the celebration website, conceivably anybody that has access to that would see it. It's kind of it plays into the piece of the original tenets of celebration, the communication or community, health, technology, education. So it falls on the technology platform. It's not super high tech. I understand that's kind of old school, but it falls into that category as well. If you're out of town and you want to just check on the community and see what's going on there, you can get a visual of that. And if you're making aspirations of moving here, it's a nice little PR piece for us as well.
Okay. So this will be a publicly available camera that'll just show the town, and it was a PTZ camera, I noticed, so you could the user could turn it and zoom and.
Well, we will restrict that.
Yeah.
The stream would be only available for streaming. It won't allow them to change it, but we can decide, like on a monthly or weekly basis, we can change the angle of the camera to point out, say, if we have a festivity happening at the street closest to the water, and if we have a good shot of it, we can pan it to that, and they could see, hey, look, it's a beautiful day, and look what's happening in celebration. There's an event happening, kind of thing. So they can see that, but they won't get super detail, obviously, because we don't want people's faces to be recognized. We just want a nice scenic shot.
So Bill, Don, somebody made a comment that there might be some costs associated with a server. What is this?
Streaming.
A bandwidth?
Purely streaming.
Yeah.
There's nothing free. I mean, you can't just put it on the webpage of the celebration website. There's got to be some form of stream, and then the ability for it to scale up while viewers are watching. So it has to connect to something.
What would that cost be? Any ideas?
It depends on the tech. It depends on how it's implemented.
Well,
Yeah,
by
we're
your
looking into
recommendation, what would it look like?
Tom, what have you researched so far?
So far, I mean, I've researched like the streaming apps that we could possibly use, But I mean, if we're doing this as a pilot, the software we probably have to get is, I looked at simple stuff at the moment, not real, not looking into servers, as Bill has said. We might have to take a quick step back and take a look at, make sure the software I'm looking at will be something that can grow into a server.
Time out. A simple desktop computer can handle a webcam stream. What
Yes.
I'm talking about is the server that you're feeding that to, that's then rebroadcasting that to however many users are logging in online. That's called a streaming server. Typically, it's cloud hosted, and it has a bandwidth price of however many cents per gigabyte has been streamed. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you're using a regular webcam or a weather cam. Like, there's a bunch of old webcam systems out there. I'm just saying there could be a cost for the streaming.
If we're doing it off of our hosted server, I'll have to talk to our current hoster and see what they charge for the streaming portion.
That's not how it would work.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I replied in the email as well the other day, was just, I'm curious, are we using it to, are we taking the feed and we're sending it to a streaming server, and then that way hundreds of people can watch the same thing at the same time, and we're not pulling all of the bandwidth with 100 people trying to literally hit the same camera. So so we want to take a feed from that camera, take it to a streaming server, and then that can be something that can be relayed off of our website or however we want to make it available. So all in all, I think, hey, it's a great idea. I know Celebration has had them in the past. I think I put that in the comments there. Like, we've had them downtown Celebration from like live cams or earth cams or something. I think it's a great idea. Love it. I think it's really neat. We ought to have plenty of them, frankly.
Sure.
So, but to Bill's point there, really, it's just, what service basically are we looking into for being able to scale this, so that,
The
we're
scaling
not
part
expecting
I
a
have not
million
looked at.
views a day, but we're looking at, we do want to be able to stream it properly and serve it
Sure.
like you would any other web service,
Right.
Sorry.
Yep. So I guess
we will look into that further.
So I guess from a communication standpoint, we look to you guys to help us with that, with the cost of the camera, any ancillary equipment, and the streaming cost, so we could give an accurate assessment to CROA.
Well,
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
well, I was just going to say, many of you know probably that I have a streaming service and I'm part of it out of a church. And I'm just looking at our invoices right now to see, this is called StreamSpot. StreamSpot's a pretty well-known streaming service. And as Bill has already said, it depends on how many simultaneous streams you'll have and how much bandwidth you use. But I'm just looking at what we paid last month. Looks like we paid, and this actually I should say this was a year, it was $2,072. So I don't know that this is necessarily the lowest cost plan because we have thousands of viewers. And we probably will not have thousands of viewers on this, but I do echo everything that Andrew just said. I think this is a great idea. And I think we should somehow get on board doing it. I just don't see why there would be any technical. I mean, we could start out as simple as just, how many people do you think would actually, how much bandwidth you really think that this is going to use? How many people do you think are going to really connect to this camera?
I don't think many, to be honest, candidly.
So, why can't we? We could host it ourselves. We probably have enough bandwidth. What kind of bandwidth?
Tom, you don't want to do that because it'll quickly saturate a pipe.
Well, that's what, I mean, that depends on how many users you have connected.
It depends on what streaming rate we're streaming it at.
Well, yeah, but we can.
There's
but-
all these variables, guys.
Well, I can
Now,
tell you, I can tell you what the rate is, Bill. We're running 2 megabits per second, and we have thousands and thousands of viewers. So 2 megabits is not a whole lot. If they had a 200 megabit connection, they would need to have 100 people connected to saturate that line. I really doubt whether we're going to see 100 people connected. So
Okay.
I don't see it as a major technical obstacle. In order to
Guys,
make
we
this
just need
happen.
we just need to find a streaming service that'll take a webcam feed, find out what it costs. I'm used to dealing with streaming when we're talking about streaming live shows, videos, podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And in my former job, our bills per month were $25,000 to $50,000 a month for what we were streaming. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, hooking this up to one of our fiber connections and then just pointing the world at it, that'll saturate that has the potential, if it gets picked up by a Disney fan page, to saturate that pipe. Now you can't get anything out of the lakeside location because that pipe is saturated. There's no caching, there's no buffering, there's nothing in front of it. So, you could look at something like EarthCam and then find out how much it costs to stream their stream. Because feeding it out to the world is minimal. Yeah, that's a 2 megabit stream, but repeating it, relaying it is where
Yeah,
it can.
it's per user. I get that. So we're at 720p 30 frames a second, which is more than enough. It looks like a live television broadcast
Mhm.
with plenty of resolution. We could up that if we wanted to, but I just gave you the price. That's $2,000. I just checked the invoice, and that was for a year. So you're looking at what, $200 a month, a little more than $200, a little less than $200 a month. If you wanted to do something like StreamSpot, I'm only questioning whether we really need to go that far. If we do, fine. No objection. I just wonder if we don't already have enough bandwidth. Certainly, we have the knowledge to do it. And I'm not as concerned, but we can monitor the bandwidth. And if we thought we were going to exceed or start hitting 50% utilization of our bandwidth, we go to a streaming service.
Yeah,
Uh,
using Subsplash. Yeah. Okay.
That sounds a good idea. Can you cap that? Can you limit the amount of?
Yeah,
So we don't
we
get
can
in
cap it
trouble?
on our network side.
Yeah, you can
Separate the
also
bandwidth.
limit the number of simultaneous connections. So
Yeah,
you can say we're not going to allow any more than 5 people or even 3 people or just one person if you want
Yeah.
simultaneous connections. And therefore we could basically throttle the upload data bandwidth. But
That sounds
by
good.
just reducing the number of people that we allow to connect. So if you had 5 connections at the same time and we did 720p, 30 frames a second, you'd be looking at 10 megabits. How bad would that be? Upload.
We have so far here at the new town hall, we're at 500. So yeah, I mean, we hardly even hit 20 meg upload at the moment.
If you ever start having unexplained streaming issues, just remember this conversation.
Oh no, of course I'm gonna throttle it and lock
Yeah.
it down.
Bill,
Separate
absolutely.
my
Point
bandwidth.
taken right there. I agree with you. I mean, I think we can just do a down and dirty feed right now, but yeah, we ought to have a couple of streaming providers in our pocket ready to go. Like you said, a
Right.
Disney fan page Celebration is known worldwide. I mean, honestly, yeah. Bill,
And
you're
also
100% right.
We're going to feed this to news, weather, to news companies for Orlando, and that they'll have the feed so that they can look at it and, display it in their morning news broadcast when they say, hey, look at the sunrise or sunset at Celebration, whichever the case may be.
Yeah, that
We've
was
had-
going to be my.
we've
that
had
was gonna be my-
inquiries, to be honest with you,
that
from
was gonna
one of
be
the
my
TV
question,
stations.
Tom.
All
Again,
the more reason we need to have that streaming provider ready. if we
Yeah.
don't already employ them. Yeah, we really should.
Is there a way we can whitelist the source? So where this thing's getting fed to where only the website can provide a direct feed to it, and so someone can't hijack the stream.
That's why you would use a service like the one Tom uses, and then StreamSpot will give you a server address in the cloud that all the requests will come to. I mean, I've set these servers up in the past. They're easy. It's just the law of unintended consequences comes into effect more often than you would think.
Okay, so it sounds like we just need to do some quick research on a couple streaming providers just so we have that in hand and kind of the minimal setup. We can try to like get some base cost, because based on what Tom says, potentially is not a huge cost, but it could be, according to your point, Bill. So
it won't be a huge cost. I think what I'm trying to say is we don't want to stream this to the public off of our infrastructure. We want to stream this to a streaming provider who then tells the public from their infrastructure. That way you don't have any risk of saturating pipes, having to do security, chase down a bunch of issues. You know, the service Tom, suggested, StreamSpot from Subsplash, that would be great. You know, whatever the monthly cost would be, that would be fine. Stream it to YouTube. I mean, you do a YouTube live stream if you want to. All of that would protect our infrastructure in town.
And I believe my predecessor may have had some tools that did that. So we preserved his PC, and that's one of the things we're going to look at shortly. Currently doing a lot of the other domain changes at the moment. But once we can get into that PC, we could take a look at the tools he was using to go to live stream it to YouTube and see what they were. If not, we'll just find new tools that would stream it directly there.
So I guess I'm looking to Dom for cost and solutions on the streaming.
Yep.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, like the guys Tom knows a streaming service. Anyone else who's had experience with other streaming services, yep, we'll give them all a shout and say, hey, this is what we're looking, this is what we think might be the amount of people that would be streaming it at first, and then go from there and see if it gets popularity and how, and then they bill us as we grow.
What about hardware costs, like the camera, for compatibility, making sure it's the camera you guys want?
Yeah, the camera, I mean, it's from Unify. We can use practically anyone as long as it does live streaming. But for manageability for my sake, it would be Unify. Since it's for streaming, we can do the live streaming system through here. And then we could stream it directly either to YouTube or to any provider that would handle that feed for us.
Okay.
Dom, would we be getting like the 360 bullet cam that has point to zoom capabilities?
It wouldn't be a bullet cam. It would be a PTZ camera that has that looks like a round ball. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. It'll look like a round ball that'll move around, and then we can either Jennifer advised that we shouldn't allow third-party outsiders be able to control the camera. I mean, it's a nice thing to do, but if we can control how well they can zoom and things like that, then yes, I guess we can do that. But imagine having 100 different people try to control this camera going in different directions. It ain't gonna work. So I prefer not to allow the PTZ to work at this time. I think we should control it, change it when we feel that it's will benefit
I agree.
the community.
Yeah, usually that stuff is done through like a digital PTZ, like it's just an app or a little insert on the website or something in the feed that you give public access to. and they're all just getting the same raw feed, and all you do is they can digital PTZ. They're not actually moving the camera around.
Oh,
So
that makes
yeah,
sense.
that solves that problem. I've done those plenty of times. I've set those up in the past.
Yeah, that
So
makes
yeah,
sense.
that's not a big deal.
Yeah. All right, so I'll look to Dom. When can I give some preliminary numbers, Dom, so we can take it to the
I'll-
board?
yeah, I'll talk to Tom and Bill for any other vendors. Andrew, if you have any other vendors you know of, I mean, other than me researching, but if we have experience with anyone, that would be the best first choices, and then work our way to unknowns.
Awesome. All right, well, I appreciate your guys' time today and your expertise, for sure.
Hey, Bill, I have a question. I'm trying to avoid, even though, of course, I've already said we're using StreamSpot, so, but I'm looking for a way to cut costs here. Is there a reason we can't just stream it to YouTube and then let people connect to YouTube? They're basically a streaming service.
That could work. I'm thinking you're going to want some kind of software that can monitor and reestablish if the connection drops. You know, there's a few things there. When you start going 24/7 live streaming, it's just a little bit different than popping on for an hour and doing a
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, I'm not familiar with, we do stream to YouTube, but it's intermittent, as you said. It's only for half an hour per day. So there's never an issue. But I
Dom,
don't
you
know
don't
about-
need to. Dom, you don't need to check in with me. My only thing is we definitely want a service, not streaming this off our own bandwidth. That's my big caution. So
Okay.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
all right, I got to
Thank you,
drop
Don.
too. Have a good rest of your conversation.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thanks, guys.
Bill dropped off. Wait, wasn't Bill supposed to stay with us?
He said he had to
It
drop
looks like
off for something. So
Okay.
It looks
So
it looks like we have an additional guest on the line, Michelle. I
Yes,
think.
Michelle. Michelle is my, I was going to introduce her earlier, but Michelle is my new IT admin.
Okay.
Hi, Michelle.
Welcome,
Welcome.
Michelle.
Do we still have, what was the last guy's name? I forgot.
John, no.
Don? No.
John's
John.
gone?
Yeah, John had to leave. He had a situation that he had to move back to Virginia. So
Okay,
it was abrupt, sad. He didn't want to leave, but family matters are more important. So
okay,
I can't fault him.
yeah, no problem.
He wanted to work remotely, but it's not a remote job. Just to go back to the previous minutes, have you guys come up with the questions and stuff that we needed to get to Comcast from that last meeting we had last month?
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember what additional questions we had.
Hmm. Comcast.
I think we had a question about the packages that they potentially could offer the community. There was something about that. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, because I think it was offline when we started talking about some of those things. So if we can, I don't know, clean up some of the cobwebs and if you guys can get me those questions, hopefully this week.
Sure. Did they provide us any additional literature?
They were waiting for us to send them the questions so that we can get more literature. Coming back to mind, I think we had a question on, they were saying that neighborhood Wi-Fi and how
Yes,
was that
yes.
going to be used?
Yeah,
Is it streaming from off of our networks, from people who have Comcast Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi service, and they just piggyback off of our networks from our homes? Or is it dedicated out in the street Wi-Fi kind of thing? Or from our amenities where they can just pull free Wi-Fi?
If they would be setting up their own APs, or would they be, using shared access off of ours? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I
That'd
think
be
both
interesting to know.
options. I think we were worried about both. If they were going to use their own, and then, hey, since we can't get a Wi-Fi close to this area, we'll just piggyback off of, our services that we provide the customers. And I don't think that's kind of fair, but
Well,
Yeah.
they were, maybe things have changed, but the last time I looked at this with Comcast is they just, on the router that they provided, you provided your SSID for your local network. And then they provided, if you would want to call it a hidden, but it wasn't really hidden, it was a public SSID that anybody who wanted to connect to could connect. And it didn't become a part of your data plan. It was a part of their data plan. In other words, you weren't paying for it. But some people just were offended by the whole idea that the public was using their stuff. Whether or not you agree with that or not, it's up to you, but that's the way it used to work. So, but the good news was you had the ability of shutting off their SSID and prohibit them from using it if you wanted to. But most people are not tech savvy enough to even know that that was happening. All they saw was an SSID that they didn't recognize. They didn't know it was coming from their own router, and they just allowed it to exist. So the question was, is that what they're doing, or are they doing something different?
all right, I have a note of that question. Any other questions you guys might come up with? Please send them my way.
I guess on top of that, Dom, are there planning on opening up public access Wi-Fi spots outside of our home? So, like, do they have plans for putting in hotspots around the town
Right.
itself?
Okay, I'll add that to that question as a two-parter.
So, the question I still have is, because I always thought this was all like smart cities infrastructure. So, is it just anybody, any kind of wireless or ISP can hook into the fiber that's
No, they would run
in
their
the
own
ground?
they're gonna run their own as they stated in the meeting. They will run their own in conjunction with smart cities. So they'll be somewhere near each other, but they'll be obviously labeled off as Comcast or Xfinity's cabling. So they'll run that. And one of the good things that they offered, if we go with this, they will provide us dark fiber from all our buildings. So that can extremely cut the costs for internet access. If we use dark fiber, we only need one access or two accesses right at town hall, and we can get 2 gigabit connections for each, and one backing up the other, and without having the cost of all those other locations at the same time. It'll just be one internet connection.
So I thought,
Sure.
I thought actually Comcast ran their own fiber loops several years ago. I remember when Smart City did all their
Not
trenching and did their, but I thought Comcast, I know they tore up a lot of streets as well, and they've got
No,
fiber to the home.
Well, there's redundant infrastructure in the ground. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of. I don't know if Smart City sold their access to Comcast, or if they had their own, because it just seems like there's a lot of stuff to put.
I know they did, Breck. I know they did years ago, because I remember back when Celebration was being built, and I used to do a lot of IT stuff around here. I would talk to the Smart City techs. It's like, okay, Smart City owns all the fiber, they own all the infrastructure. Comcast owns the coax, but Comcast had to lease the bandwidth off of Smart City from where that's the way it used to be set up. Now then, if things change when they did that other fiber overlay, or if they're going to do an additional fiber overlay here in town, wow, that's
Well,
we're gonna have a lot of fiber.
So I think we're sharing the same confusion on this topic, because that's why I recall also that they did do a bunch of digging up, and they also showed us a map of where they already had fiber that they said was their fiber, and they showed us a map at the meeting, and it went a lot of different places. in Celebration. I know East Village, where I originally came from, had fiber. According to their map, whether or not it was really there or not, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how accurate the map was, but it was actually quite a bit. And they were touting the fact that they had fiber in many places already, and they just wanted to so-called complete the job. But to do that was going to cost some additional fee in order and that they were asking for help to pay for. That's what I was taking away from the meeting. Maybe I didn't hear them correctly, but they were looking to sign some sort of a contract where we would pay a certain amount of money up front to finish it off, and every house in Celebration would have fiber access through Comcast to Comcast if they wanted it, and it would be embedded, by the way, in your HOA fee, or you could pay on an individual basis, so that it wasn't for every person in Celebration, that you'd have to sign up, and there was a base price plus there was an additional adder for the cost of the installation per month. That's the way I remember the conversation, but I was confused by the whole thing, to be honest, why we were even there.
It'd be hard to, they'd have to change their packages to compete with Smart City, because Comcast, if you look at, okay, they actually offer some gigabit type stuff, but it's 20 megabit, 40 megabit upstream. Smart City is symmetrical throughput, at gig.
So the guy said that they had a 1 gig service, and I want to say that their cost, they were saying was like $40 or $50. And then they had like a 2 gig option that I think, if I'm not mistaken, was like about $100 a month.
Breck,
But what's the upstream?
No, my recollection's a little different than that. That the $40 or $50 was per person if everybody in Celebration signed up for it, meaning we did it through the HOA. But when we asked,
Correct.
that was one plan, and that was quite reasonable, right? $40. You're like, wow, that's pretty good. But the key thing there was it was a commitment for the entire community. It was going to be for all 5,000 homes. We would pay an HOA fee for.
Yeah, so if you chose not to have Comcast, you're still paying for it because it's in your dues.
Correct. So that was one option, but then there was another option. We said, well, yeah, because we were all like hemming and hawing, think that this doesn't sound so good because we know some people will object to that. Would it be possible to do it on a individual basis? Like you decide you want fiber from Comcast, and Andrew, you want to sign up. What would that cost? Well, we could do that too, they said. And it was, I forgot the number. Breck, you were writing it down. You were taking notes, but it ended up after equipment costs were included. It was something like $120 a month was the number that I remember them throwing out. And we were like, well, wait, that's more than what we're paying now for Smart City.
Yeah, you're right. That number does sound familiar. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I can't.
That's what the way the conversation that I recall went. And the problem was that on an individual basis, they don't know what their penetration would be. Maybe you want it, but how about your neighbor? Does he want it? Well, if we haven't run the fiber, we're going to run a fiber always so that Andrew can have Comcast fiber coming to his house if it already doesn't exist on your loop. See, that was the problem. So
yeah, I think that's the other thing, Dom, I think we need from as far as the questions is what were the financial implications? What kind of commitment were they or upfront commitment are they asking from the community as far as installation, and then I guess the ongoing costs per month, because
I can go back through the video and take a look, but if I remember correctly, the marketing contract or the marketing version of this option is they would provide like a door fee of like $300 per house that will join to Celebration. And then they would pay a discounted rate just for the internet service. but everything else will go through standard commercial costs. Then there is, according to them, there is no costs to us for them putting in this infrastructure in either case. But they would like obviously one or the other contract so that we can get this marketing deal through them. But the other one is the full deal where they'll put in all this information, all this infrastructure in. The board would have to agree to it, and obviously we would put in a charge for everyone. And I don't know what the process is 100% for that. For something like that, I think it has to be a community vote. But however this goes, they would provide I think because they're putting in their own networks, their own equipment, everything will be gig for everyone at a standard cost of $30 to $50. And then from that, they would also provide us dark fiber, the neighborhood Wi-Fi.
It seemed like to me that those were the two primary benefits, was getting the dark fiber for just the community network infrastructure, and then the Wi-Fi access.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we just need to
300.
understand the implications, the costings, and the Wi-Fi for community Wi-Fi. How is that? Is that dedicated network belonging to Comcast and not feeding off of our Wi-Fi at home? So that's a question we can ask. Any other concerns that we had or understandings we needed to get from them?
No, I think if that you said that meeting was recorded. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to attend. I
Yeah,
had a
it
work
is recorded.
conflict, so okay, so I'd like to go back and go watch it. So
You should
all
see the
right.
map. I think you'll be able to see the map on that, I believe.
Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, I'll
Map was,
dial in and take a look at it.
They definitely showed the map. The thing, if you're gonna watch it, I'm not gonna definitely not gonna watch it again. But if you're gonna watch it, Andrew, could you take note of the cost? If first of all, I don't believe that we're gonna go this way, but just to complete the conversation, if everybody in Celebration, if CROA signed up for this and said, we're gonna tack this on to everybody's HOA fee for all 5,000 homes in Celebration. That was the number that Lauren threw out, that there were 5,000 homes. Was there an installation cost associated with that? I heard Dom just say a second ago, there wasn't one. And I wasn't taking notes, and I'm old, so my recollection's probably poor, but I remember them saying that there was some sort of an infrastructure cost, because this is a pretty massive undertaking to connect every home or to provide fiber. And by the way, this is not fiber to the curb. This was fiber into your closet. They're going to go into your network closet at your house. This would be a big infrastructure undertaking. So if you watch this, could you key into the fact of what this initial cost was, even though it's probably not likely that we're going to do this anyway, but I'd be curious.
Yeah, sure. I'll make note of that, and I'll put it in. We'll put a little summary notes and email it to the committee here. But you're saying they were going to bring fiber to inside the home,
Yes.
So they're going to have contractors inside the house routing fibers.
Yes.
Wow,
we raised the question about,
that's ambitious. Because they didn't used to have that kind of license, I'll tell you, because I wired up most of the homes in town and businesses, because Comcast didn't. They had a license to go to the curb, to the demarc, but not inside of the structure.
That was
Wow.
specifically asked, and there's no question that yes, we said, you mean fiber to the curb, or do you mean fiber to the closet, and they were very clear that, yes, this is right into your network closet. We even raised a question, I think I raised a question about what about fire stops? You're gonna be drilling through fire stops in people's homes to get this fiber in there, because that was one of the showstoppers for Smart City. When they went into the townhomes, they wouldn't drill through these fire stops. And these guys were like, yes. So,
Did these people know what they were talking about? I mean, I'm just
they were
honestly,
sales guys.
okay. Yeah, I will absolutely watch through this.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there because of a work conflict, but yeah, okay. Yeah,
I mean, to me, the only the benefits primarily were the dark fiber network, potential community Wi-Fi that potentially is not piggybacking off of people's personal internet connections, and then the possibility of having access to higher than 1 gigabit infrastructure. Because to me, I'm perfectly fine with Smart City. I'm happy with their pricing. So like, why would we bring in another provider? Like, I'm not sure what the benefit is.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. Oh, all good questions. Yeah, thanks for recirculating that today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree with those. Those are the, I agree completely, Breck. Those are the positive attributes of this proposal. Dark fiber was a big one that would really be nice.
And I've asked Smart Cities if they had a roadmap for greater than 1 gigabit connection, and there are communities that have it, but they at the time, this was maybe like 6 months ago, they didn't want to give me any kind of like timeline. So it might be a possibility, but currently there's no plans in place. So
Yep, I think we've all probably at some point called. I've called and emailed and a couple of times even this year. So yeah, same thing. Because yes, you look on their website now. In other communities, they're offering 2 gig, they're offering 5 gig, and in some places even 10, I think. But yeah, right. The answer I get is the same thing. Breck is like, oh yeah, well, it's not on the roadmap or it's not anything just yet. But you'll hear from marketing if we do. So like, oh, okay. And just going back to the community Wi-Fi. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, maybe just this conversation with Comcast, we could just turn around and use it as leverage against Smart Cities and be like, hey, Comcast is poking around your turf, like, is there anything you guys might be able to do for us?
Yeah, do we have a good contact at Smart City these days?
I have my contact that I use to buy services from.
I would think that'd be a good place to start right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give him a poke.
Yeah. No, just going back to the community Wi-Fi thing, at one time, Smart City used to have like Celebration public Wi-Fi hotspots, like all through downtown and a few other areas.
Yeah,
Like
they were at 851. We decommissioned all their access points, and we had them at Artisan Park. We did.
Yeah, we used to have
decommission
one at
them too.
Artisan Park. You're right,
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, we do. No, we had several there, and we just took they may still be up there in the ceiling, but they're not powered up anymore. But yeah.
I'm just curious if that's even so. If you, Dom, if you do talk to your person, then yeah, just curious. Like, is that even still a thing, or is it days gone by? Or hey, by the way, like you said, these other guys are poking around in your territory. Hey, you already have the fiber loop. Just throw up a couple of APs around and make it nice for everyone. So
And give us decent speed.
yeah. So
Yeah, no,
okay.
I agree with that.
All right, cool.
All right.
Going
So
down
regarding the
Mhm.
community outreach, I'm gonna make once we get back in town tonight, I'll make another effort of reaching out to some folks. But I hadn't really received any replies from anybody. But I'll put another effort behind that. Angela, I don't know if you've reached out to anybody yourself.
Yeah, actually, I have Eugene Petrello. I don't. anyway, so I actually happened to cross paths with him. He's another committee chair here, and I expressed to him, I said, hey, actually, we wanted to reach out to you guys. We want to host everyone here at the club and do the community, just do the committee outreach that we're talking about. And so he agreed and thanked me for that. And he and I are due for a follow-up probably this week for trying to coordinate between the committees. So Breck, I'll make sure that you're included in on that conversation as well.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, Dom, what's happening? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll wait till we get to this next topic.
I think we can move on to just committee comments if you want to.
I have a question for Dom. Hey, Dom, where do we stand with the kiosks and the smart display for town hall, and where is all of that? It seems like it's gone quiet.
It's slow moving. In the middle of doing so many things with me being by myself again for a while. So I have everything. I will probably when the new year comes in, because obviously we got at the end of our year budget, so there's nothing available at the moment for the big expenditures. I know this will come out of cap, but I will get everything done hopefully by the end of the month so that we can talk about it for the next meeting, and we can see what it'll cost, because I need Andrew for a walkthrough anyway to see our options and kind of roundabout estimates of construction costs for power lines, if we need to bring power to the specific spot, if it's feasible for that spot, since he's a construction worker, construction owner, he would know the better spots to put these things in from where they're currently, the paper billboards are currently placed. So Andrew, I will buzz you in a few days to do a
That'd be
walk.
great. Well, okay, sure, whenever, Dom, no problem. I'll be happy to meet up with you and we can talk about it. Sure.
Yeah.
I've got another agenda just to ask for a status update on things is
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Tom, did you have anything else on that, or did you?
Well,
or were you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead. Sorry. Were you done with that one, Tom, or did you have anything else for the kiosks? Tom? Hello, Tom?
Sorry, Andrew. I I was attempting to log in to check the stats on how many digital credentials we had sold.
Oh, okay.
And that stupid alarm thing goes, starts beeping, and so I muted my audio.
No worries.
You guys wouldn't hear it, so I don't know what the number is. Anyway, I'm sorry. I missed it. What'd you say?
I was just saying I wanted to make sure I wasn't jumping ahead. I was going to start another subject here real quick, and I know that we're short for time now. So, but I also didn't want to overstep. If you were you finished with the comments on the kiosk?
He answered it. I was just curious where we were.
Okay. Well, you're going to talk about the mobile credentials, which kind of just leads into where are we with ProTech. This is more related not just as the community, but more so with regard to Artisan Park. So obviously we had Scott Hunt out. We had ProTech. It's basically just with getting the clubhouse. We had some of the specific systems, the front door and the west door, that we wanted them making and the gym, making some changes to those doors. And we know that ProTech was out a couple of weeks ago, and like they left our camera, our front door camera or something disassembled there. And But do we know where we are with that, with ProTech getting what we need compliance wise at the clubhouse for that?
So all the all the exit buttons should now
Mhm.
be mechanical.
Okay.
I was not aware, Bill did not advise that they kind of left things a mess.
Yeah.
So that kind of complaint should go straight to Scott. All other things that you've discussed is now with Bill and Scott, because it's being managed and paid for through Artisan.
Yeah, sure, no problem. And we understand that that's separate. Then there was the compliance issues that we wanted to take care
Yeah,
of.
the compliance we got out from them for free.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
they worked it so that it said, it was a something that they should have looked at when they first
Okay.
installed stuff and took over. They should have made it compliant on the fly then, or put it into the bill saying that they had to do this. So they did it as a warranty repair, and they fixed those doors with mechanicals. But everything else,
Okay.
yeah, should be
All right. Well,
Bill's.
that's great. Okay, as long as that part of it's done, then that's good. And then I can follow up. Tom and I can follow up with Bill about the other little personal requests that we had there. So as long as we're good and we're safe and in compliance, that's the main thing. So for some reason I just hadn't gotten copied on that. So glad it's done and over with. So okay, good.
Do you think, Tom, do you think that Bill followed up with Scott on the request for the handicap access gate? Is that what you're saying? Because I would be surprised if that was the case.
There's been communications now between Scott and Bill for the invoices for the things that you guys requested. And for the gym, what was for the gym?
The gym was part of the mechanical thing.
Yeah,
so the only other
there's
thing
an
would have been for
additional
the
now. There was something else.
there was something for the bathroom doors that we were maybe going to implement.
Yeah, and I think he got a quote for that. And that's been between Scott and Bill on those. I get copied in, but as long as they're taking care of it between themselves and they're getting the quotes, and obviously I can't approve those quotes, so it'll come out from.
Okay, so does Bill go directly to Scott then? That's an approved path?
If it's for something new,
Yeah.
yeah. If it's for something that was done during installation, setting configuration changes, things for the system that will affect overall,
Yeah, of
then it
course.
comes through me.
Yeah, I get
But-
that.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Tom, you and I can just follow up with Bill. That's fine.
We'll follow up with Bill and
All right.
maybe.
Thanks for the clarification, Dom. I don't think the messages had made their way back over to us. So no problem. I appreciate it. So we'll follow up with Bill on that. So Tom, were you able to find out where we are as far as absorption for the mobile credentials?
No, because I had to mute
Sorry.
because it was beeping. So no, I don't know.
Sorry.
So do you know, Dom, offhand what our mobile credential situation is?
Checking now. Just make sure when you go into your Windows settings, you can tell which app can have the sound or not. Just tell that app not to make that bloody sound.
Okay.
And of course I went into the wrong version. Hold on a second. And let's get those numbers. All right. File.
While we're
327 are being in use at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
So we're a third of the way there.
Out of what? How many
Well,
months?
we bought 1,000.
Yeah, but out of how many months ago?
Almost 6 months,
Is it 6 months? Okay.
almost.
You know, maybe, darn, I wish that communications guy was still on his call. Because we could
Dom,
answer.
Dom, where do we go to get the mobile app provision so I can have my wife do that?
I'm sorry, repeat that question?
Where do we go to get the mobile credential? I'm gonna have my
Oh,
wife.
you go to Resident Services at Lakeside.
I'll put something back out in the back porch again. I did just an AI image and it did a back porch post a month or two ago, or month and a half ago. And a bunch of people responded to it. It's like, oh, that's great. Didn't know we could do that now. That's awesome. So, and I put the go to Lakeside. Here's the hours, go do that. Here's the address. So I'll do that again. But yeah, if we had the communications person here, that'd be great to
Yeah,
get somebody
they
to.
did have it in their meeting this week.
Oh,
Was it this week or when did they have their meeting last? Last week, sorry. They had their meeting last week and they did bring up all that and they are going to change how they do the communications for that. They will bring it across. Katie from the board had mentioned that as well, so they are making that a priority to get the mobile credentials publicized better. So they will have signs in different places and definitely more more visible for people to see it.
Okay, cool. Just on a note for that, a buddy of mine that Tom and I seem to evangelize being able to do the mobile credentials to anyone who will listen to us all the time. I mentioned it to a buddy of mine who here in town, who's a pretty tech savvy person, actually writes software for a living. Anyway, he went down. He got his Gallagher app, got it hooked up on his phone, loves it, thinks it's great. And anyway, he just said he said he had some issues with getting it into his digital wallet, which I've never actually been able to do that. So that I can quickly access it on my phone or watch. Apparently, it's supposed to just be a matter of getting Gallagher Command Center configured correctly. It also requires that the Apple employee badge / wallet feature is licensed and enabled. So maybe it's a licensing thing or a cost thing with Gallagher.
Everything's a cost thing for Gallagher.
So true.
Anyway, evidently, and I guess if you actually go to the App Store and go look at the Gallagher app and look at the examples of other things that they have in there and sort of read through the comments, yeah, we can actually add it to the wallets or the digital wallets or things like that.
The watch.
But anyway, not sure if that came across your desk or anything at all, Dom. But I wanted to just at least mention that to you that I guess apparently it's a Mobile Connect wallet compatible template.
Well,
okay.
What could be cooler than having it on your watch? That would be awesome.
Yeah. So I guess it's something that in Command Center has verify that the Croa Gallagher Command Center has the Apple Wallet / employee badge feature enabled, and that your credential was issued from the Mobile Connect Apple Wallet compatible template, not the standard BLE one, whatever BLE is. So he apparently did a deep. Again, this is a tech savvy fella that's a buddy of mine. He did a deep dive into this. Dom,
I think it's Bluetooth Low Energy.
There you go. Okay, thank you for chiming in on that. So apparently there's a couple of different templates that we can issue these things from, and some of them actually will allow us, hey, put it on your watches or in your wallets and things like that. So just this is more of just a FYI thing that I just recently learned about, and I wanted to pass it along. So.
Yep, I will look into that and see what Gallagher, well, Yeah, what Gallagher says, if we have that already available.
Yeah.
Without extra cost, sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
right? So
Good.
anyway, it just kind of information passing along to everybody there. So cool. I think that was everything that I necessarily had on my stuff to talk about. So, and I'll definitely go back and rewatch the presentation from the other day with Comcast.
Okay.
All right. Bill, do you have any additional comments? Or Tom, sorry, not Bill, Tom.
No.
All right, so I mentioned next meeting, I'll add the agenda item that Sean wanted to bring up. So we'll have that on the agenda for next month. Sorry, I'm at the airport, so. So I guess, can we get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All right, perfect. All right, well, meeting adjourned. Thank you everyone for attending this month.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. And sorry we didn't get to talk to Michelle, but Michelle, welcome to the team.
She says thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.